to give you a little sneak peek before I head out antique shopping. It's been about 6 months since I brought you to this antique store. I'm definitely finding that this time I feel more confident doing this. We just left the upholsterer and I had great luck. Hello everyone, welcome back. I know I promised that this next video was going to be a DIY project, but it is taking much longer than anticipated, so I planned another DIY project for this week, and that one's not gonna work out either. So I'm filming a little vlog this week to hold you all over until I can get that project finished, but I will give you a little sneak peek in this video. What I am doing this week is gathering supplies for that project, but also trying to source fabric for the other DIY that I had planned because the one I ordered did not work out. And I'm gonna take you antique shopping. I have my client project that I showed you in my last video that I was working on, and we're going sourcing today, just for some decorative pieces. We're not really in that phase of the project quite yet. We're like sourcing furniture and accessories, but it's always fun to go and look. So we're gonna go into that today, but I have to finish getting ready first. I am so excited for this project that I'm working on, you guys. It is something I have been dreaming of for like 2.5 years. Since before we even bought our house, just in the listing photos, the idea for this project came to me, and it has been like on my mind ever since. So I'm so excited to be tackling it. And I knew that it was going to take a while. So I figured maybe 2 weeks, but at the rate it's going well, but just at the rate it's taking me to complete it, it's probably gonna be 3 weeks. So that's why I figured I'd do more vlog style and not make you wait almost a month for a new video. And also I ordered a light for it that says it should have arrived sometime between June 27th and July 18th, and it's currently July 2nd. Today's July 2nd, and it has not even shipped yet. I think it's a made to order situation, and it's coming from the UK, so I wouldn't be surprised if they're like still in the process of making it, but it has not shipped. So I don't necessarily also want to show you that project until I get the light in, because that's like, it's like the jewelry on top of it. Like it's really pretty light that I'm really excited to see in. There you go. Huh? There you go. Okay, let's go. To give you a little sneak peek before I head out antique shopping, this is it. I'm putting in a built-in here. Before, there was like a weird like half wall and a big like niche cutout thing that went into my sitting room. There was like all these cords strung between my television and like my husband's PlayStation and this lamp and like a whole bunch of cords. And then on the other side in the sitting room, you could see into the living room and see the back of all those cords. And so anytime I would do a reveal when I was working in my sitting room, those cords were just really bothering me. And then also at the top up here, if you can see above this built-in and then that doorway, there are these two cutouts above that led into the other room as well. And I just wanted to fill those in also. Yes, I'm losing the natural light from each side that comes into each room, but each room has its own source of natural light anyway, and it was just kind of weird. And so I wanted to like make the two rooms feel like separate rooms instead of it being so open, and then have this mirror the doorway, which if you can see is exactly what it's doing. So it's working out great. Where I'm at with it so far, I've removed all of the drywall on the half wall and like the front part of the framing. I've framed in the top niche there, and I've framed in and drywalled those pieces up along the top. So now all I have to do to finish this built-in is mud the top situations up there and run my wiring. And you can see that outlet right there. I have to move that, run it up to like another outlet, and then our light that's gonna be up there, and then conceal all of the cords to the TV and everything in the wall so you don't see any of that. So it's coming along really well. It's just taking a while, and this is where I'm at with that. And then on the other side, you can see that I'm in the process of mudding. So this is where doing that bathroom first kind of came in handy. This is what you see as soon as you walk in my house. I'm currently standing at my front door. So like, I wanted to make sure I had that scaled down really well since this is the first wall that you see. But that's where I'm at. This room here, my sitting room, finally feels like its own space. I know it's in like complete disarray right now. And then this chair, if you can see, is the other project I was talking about. I got both of these chairs off of Facebook Marketplace like a year and a half ago for like 30 bucks for the set, which is great. And my intention with them was always to reupholster them. There's nothing wrong necessarily with this fabric or the color. I actually quite like it. It's just not the full vision that I have for the space. And I really do not like the orangey color of the legs. I really like the shape of them. They feel more modern mixed in with my more like vintage leaning style, because I love that juxtaposition, both in color, dark and light colors, contrasted like a dark brown and a light white color, but also in style. I like a good contrast of things feeling like rustic and old and just like worn out, honestly, with more modern shapes and things like that. I like the contrast. And so the DIY that I was gonna do was finally reupholstering these. And I took a long time going back and forth deciding if I wanted to do boucle or like a shearling sheepskin type material. But I was having a really hard time deciding between the two and finding ones that I liked. My inspiration for this space was I think it's CB2 or Crate and Barrel. It's their, I think it's Latuco is the name of the product, with the Latuco chair. I just don't have $5,000 to spend per chair, unfortunately, as much as I would love to. So I like the shape of these. They remind me of some other chairs that I've seen in a boucle fabric. However, I did want the Sherpa because that was my initial inspiration. So I was gonna try to blend the Sherpa texture with these chairs that reminded me more of like the RH situation. And so I ordered this fabric off of Etsy, and I was a little nervous about it because it was listed as Sherpa, and Sherpa kind of reminds me of like the inside of like a blanket that you would get at like TJ Maxx or something, which not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just that material is not what I wanted on a chair. I really wanted like the sheepskin shearling material, but the pictures looked okay, so I was a little apprehensive about it. I thought it was gonna work. I ordered it, it comes in, and it's definitely like more of a blanket liner than like upholstery fabric. So it's not gonna work like I was hoping it would. And the project that I was gonna do for you, the video I was gonna make, I can't do quite yet. So I have to send this fabric back because my husband said it reminds him of like a college girl's dorm room furniture. And that was a super accurate description. I can't unsee it now. So that is a project that's gonna have to wait for a later date, and I'm gonna go this week, hopefully, to an upholsterer to see if I can find a new fabric. No shade to the Etsy seller I bought this from. It was totally on me. I figured it probably would not work out. So I gotta see if I can source something or if I'm okay with going with boucle after all, because I do have a sample from another Etsy seller of a boucle that I was looking at for a while. So anyway, we're gonna try to source some new fabric for these chairs in this video as well. It's been about 6 months since I brought you to this antique store, and I was really excited to be back because I hadn't been back in the meantime either. And on this trip, I found a ton of great artwork, starting with this piece here that had these beautiful red, orange, rusty brown tones across the whole thing. It's unframed, you know, I love that. And the lady who owns this booth is an interior designer herself, and she had 2 business cards, one for her design business and one for her antique business. So I made sure to pick one of each up so I could connect with her. And in addition to this piece here, I also loved the Arc de Triomphe print behind it and this picnic basket beside it. And in her booth, she also had this set of 6 taper candle holders. I love brass sets like this. They're my favorite way to decorate at Christmas. A lot of people will put like little propagation tubes in them for plants in the springtime. I think they are a styling essential, especially when you find them in sets like this. However, I have so many at home that I did leave this set behind. And her booth was nearby to the booth that holds this painting, which you saw the last time I brought you here. I absolutely love this painting. It is gorgeous. It's still out of my budget for now, but I'm glad that they still have it because, like I said the last time, as soon as I have the budget to purchase this gorgeous painting, it is coming home with me in an instant. I love this one. And in addition to the beautiful paintings they had, there was also this wooden sculpture on this stand. It was supposed to be like fish swarming, which I can definitely see, but the fish motif wasn't so literal, so I think it could fit in a lot of different styles. Coastal, I think it would look really great in like a French style, and I could have definitely seen this in my home, but I've bought so many pieces like this recently and it was also out of my budget, so I did leave this one behind for someone else to enjoy. But a piece I did ponder getting and wish that I would have was this huge piece of artwork here. It was a great size. I loved the frame on it. I really liked the print itself. You guys know I always love a good landscape, and just the age on it, everything about it, I absolutely love. The frame was chipped, which never bothers me. And on top of that, it was a fantastic price for the size of it. Like I said, I did not pick it up, but I am half tempted to go back and get it as soon as possible. And it was in one of my favorite booths, number 107, Remembered Vintage. Here's their Instagram if you want to check them out. They always have great stuff, artwork in particular, but just in general. And on this trip, I came across this stack of coffee table books that they had, and I contemplated getting this one from Pottery Barn that was all about inspiration for dining and hosting, but it wasn't quite totally in my style, and I'm trying to conserve my budget for some of the projects I'm currently working on. So I did not pick this up on this trip, but normally it is something I would have grabbed. And this painting here was absolutely stunning. On par with the little bit bigger one that I've been eyeing for months now. This one is stunning. My current client project that I'm working on, you guys know, is kind of in a coastal style, and I think this would look great in that project. But even in my house, although I'm not super into coastal, I would totally hang this in my house because it is gorgeous. And then this sculptural piece here, I thought would look great with that rusty orangey brown portrait that I found earlier. This piece here with like a sculptural tree or a plant coming out of it would look great in a room with that painting. And this was in the same booth where I found that mortar and pestle several months ago that I absolutely love. So another booth I always like to check out. And another piece of artwork that was not a painting was this sketch here I really liked. That blue strip along the top is just because it had slid down in the frame behind the matting, which would be super easy to fix, but I like the frame, I like the matting, I like the sketch itself, or maybe it was like a black and white watercolor. Either way, I really liked this and thought it would look really well paired with oil paintings or on its own. Love this piece here. And in addition to a bunch of artwork, I also came across a lot of like serving dishes that I thought would be beautiful for summer and spring dining, either outside or inside. This blue and yellow set here, gorgeous, and a lot of them had lids, which was kind of nice. There was this one here that had more of the orange and green that I thought a pasta salad would look great in, with some bright red cherry tomatoes in it. There was this berry dish here that could either be used for serving or just beautiful stored in your refrigerator. And another more blue set that had a little bit of red tied in. I just thought these would be super fun for, like I said, summer or spring dining, mixing all of the colors together, an eclectic look that's very bright and just fun. And another thing I found a lot of, which I always find these at antique stores, was this iron pot here. I found several on this trip, but this in particular I loved. It made me think of my grandmother's cast iron pot that I showed you back at the end of May, and with this one very much looking like a cauldron, I thought would be great in the fall time with like some asters or mums coming out of it. Okay, I'm back from antiquing. I didn't get much, just one little thing. We moved through quick. I don't know if my blood sugar was low or what, but like I moved through it quick. I did not dilly-dally on this trip like I normally would. And we tried to go to a couple of other antique stores nearby, but they weren't open because they were only open, some of them were only open like Thursday to Sunday. Today's a Wednesday, so I did not look out there. But the one item that I got here was this painting on this board here. It says on the back, the Russian waitress at the island in Monhagen. And then it says that the varnish was retouched on it in 2007. I don't know when this is from. It says waitress. I don't get waitress from this. Just looks like some lady. But that's all right. The tones in it were totally my style. I thought like with this frame that I have on the mantle, like this style next to it unframed would look really nice, especially if like I swapped out the print in that. With like a sketch or something, it would go really well together. If you can see what I'm saying here, like if I did more of like a scribbly sketch or something in the frame instead of another portrait, and it was more of a matte finish similar to the artwork, I thought these would look so nice together, even if not like on the mantle and like styled somewhere else. But that just totally felt like my vibe, and I didn't find anything else, so I thought I'd go ahead and pick that up. And that's my haul. It's the only thing I got. But I still have to find some new fabric for those chairs over there. But I don't have the time to go do that today. I have a yoga class here in like 2 hours. So I may try to get another coat of joint compound up on this side of the wall before I have to run to that class. I'm definitely finding that this time I feel more confident doing this. Does it look great or professional? No, absolutely not. But I'm feeling better about the way that I'm doing it, and I think it's going much, much smoother. And really the main thing I did different this time is I just thinned out the joint compound. I noticed that last time that, or drywall mud, whatever it's called. Last time I did not do that, and this time I thinned it out to like a yogurt consistency like they say to do, and it's definitely applying much, much smoother. So, like I said, maybe not the most professional job, but I think it's gonna work out okay. I'm already saying I'm gonna need more than that big bucket that I bought for the last time I was doing this. But it's definitely going a lot smoother. It's just an annoying task that I was looking to hire out, but it was just gonna take too long to get somebody to come do it or be super expensive. So I'm doing it myself, as DIYers do, and trying to have a positive attitude about it, because if I let myself be negative about it, I certainly will. So I'm just trying to go for progress over perfection. If I do too much, if it's too messy, I can always sand it down. That's gonna make a mess, but messes can be cleaned. So it's all gonna be okay in the end, even if it takes a while and wears on my nerves. That class was so good. This is the second class I've been to at this studio, and I have enjoyed them both very thoroughly. Two different teachers, both wonderful. This was a hot yoga class, and last week was hot yoga too, but it was really hot outside last week, so she didn't turn the heaters up fully, whereas this week they were fully up. And it has been like 5 years since I've taken a yoga class that was that hot, and it felt amazing. So grateful for that, and I am ready for dinner. So I'm gonna go home, and I will see you tomorrow to go fabric shopping. I got up first thing the next morning and headed to the upholsterer. I've been to this one before when I was sourcing for a client project in the past. Actually, for the current client I'm working on, the previous project we did together, I came here to source a fabric, and I know some people that have had some work done by this business in the past, and they're very highly recommended. So if you're in the area, definitely check them out for your upholstery needs. But I was here on the hunt for definitely more of like the boucle and shearling fabric that I had mentioned. While I am leaning more towards shearling, I pulled some boucle options as well, and definitely staying more in that lighter neutral palette. I looked at a couple of mid-tones, but I'm definitely still leaning lighter for these. And I narrowed it down to just a handful of books, flipping through just to see what they had and try to keep an open mind in case I came across anything that maybe did inspire me in a different direction. But eventually kind of narrowed it down to like 3-ish options. I loved this boucle here. The color of it was perfect. I did like the texture of the boucle, so I pulled this one in case that was the direction I decided to go, because it was exactly the right color. And then this one here was definitely more in the shearling fabric that I liked, and I have 2 colors I'm looking at. And then the last one was kind of in between the shearling and the boucle. It was more like almost kind of like carpet a little bit, and I pulled it because it was a little bit of an in-between texture and had some different shades that I could kind of play with, that I thought any of them could work really well for what I'm going for. We just left the upholsterer and I had great luck. I found this, which one thing I really liked about is they let you take their books home. Like you could take a whole fabric like book sample thing home, which I was really surprised that they would loan those out to people, but came in super handy because I don't have to wait for like a sample book to come in, or I didn't have to order samples. They let me take this little book home. I just checked it out, and so pretty sure I'm leaning towards this one, but I just brought the whole book home just to see in the lighting. So between the two of these, I think the white is going to be too stark, whereas this one may be a little too beige for my liking. But if I go between these two, because they're like exactly the texture I was going for, I told you I'm looking at the Latuco or whatever chair as inspiration, and this is like exactly the fabric that's on those. So between the two, I'm leaning towards this like more camely beige color one. And so we'll see. It's a little bit more than the fabric that I ordered off of Etsy, but not terrible. I probably could, like through my business, order fabric, like set up a trade account through the company and order the fabric for myself and get it at like a trade price. But I would rather support a small family business, and like while I am on a budget, I'm just gonna order through them because I would love to support a small business. And they said they don't have a ton of like designers in their network anymore like they used to, so building that connection would be great. And we also had to stop for some more supplies for drywall. So when we get home, that's what I'm gonna work on after I see if my fabric's gonna work. Here you can see them both on the chair with my little throw pillows that I'm hoping to use. And I like either one. In the light, that one is coming across a little bit darker than what I would like for it to. I was initially leaning towards it, and I still am, but it's not quite as light. But that one feels too light and stark. I do wish there was somewhere in the middle that I could do with them. However, if I bring it over to the mantle, some of like the pinkish tones in the travertine here come out in this camel color here. Like I think they kind of have some tones in common, but I think either would look good. And then same thing up here with the mantle color, which is Black Fox by Sherwin-Williams. I think either one looks great with that too. If I bring them over to my rug here on the wall, I think this one here kind of fits better with that. I mean, there is some in like the threadbare places, some of this white, but I think the camel color still works better with that too. You can see here the difference in texture between these and how this just a little bit more curly and has just more texture to it. And this is technically more of an upholstery weight fabric, whereas this was more of like a craft fabric. So definitely more along the lines of what I'm going for. Again, I wish there was a color like in between the two of them, but I am still leaning towards this one here with my jute rug down there. I do think the white would look better, but other than that, I think the camel-y color looks better with everything else. And then the walls, they probably will stay white, but I don't know exactly what color quite yet. And these chairs may not stay in here, so my instinct is telling me to go with this one. So we'll see. I still haven't made the final decision, but let me know in the comments which one you would pick if it were in your house, or which one you think goes with my style better. You guys know me by this point. So I'm gonna get back to working on my drywall in here, and on the other side, I have several skim coats that I need to do. Lots of sanding. So before I sand, I need to go through and kind of pick everything up. I don't want covered in dust. I hope you guys enjoy these more vlog style videos when I do them. If you do, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe and come back for when I do finally get that DIY project finished. I know 4th of July weekend is over. If you're here in the US, I hope you had a great weekend celebrating with your family, and until next time, I'm wishing you all my best. This drywall's getting removed anyway. I'm just gonna bust a hole in it and see how it goes. I'm so nervous. Why does this make me nervous? Okay.